In 1975, the Red Khmers launched their final assault on Phnom Penh, where we are right now. The city fell within a few hours, very fast actually, and that began the terror rule during 4 years, where almost 2 million Cambodians died. The first thing they did was to evacuate the whole city. Basically, no one was allowed to stay in here. All the cities were emptied.
It's hard to imagine. It's so full and so alive.
Yeah. While there were officially no laws or rules anymore, because they were not necessary, there were definitely. And anything that could make you be suspected of individual thinking, or anything that would have foreign connections, would make you a traitor. In that case, you would be interrogated, give up everyone you knew and loved, and then be murdered. Today we're gonna visit the heart of the interrogation, where the most important people were taken. The S-21 prison, where up to around 20,000 people were tortured and murdered.
That's so crazy.
Or, well, tortured and interrogated. Afterwards, we're gonna head to the killing fields, where the executions took place.
It's gonna be a heavy day.
It's gonna be a very heavy day. I don't know, we're probably not gonna vlog too much inside, but I'll take you along with a little history lesson, is my plan. So yeah, prepare for a heavy episode. Here we are. Yeah, let's buy some tickets and get inside. So this was an old high school that was converted into this crazy torture center, and it's just bizarre. I think someone thought it was too disturbing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's...
So what did they say? 20,000? 12 to 20,000 people were interrogated here?
Yes.
And only 12 of them came out alive?
Yes.
12? Or was
12.
it even less?
12 confirmed survivors.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Basically, if you got brought here, you were guilty, because the organization Angkar, the revolutionary organization Angkar was always right.
Yeah. That is, yeah, harsh.
Okay, let's go on with our audio guide. Yes, the S-21 prison, or Tool Slang as it later became known, was a high school turned torture center in the heart of the Khmer Rouge Internal Security Service. One of 158 security prisons in Democratic Kampuchea, as Cambodia was known at the time, this was where important and high-ranking party members were taken to confess their crimes against the revolution. Crimes that more often than not had never taken place. First we entered Building A. Here's where some of the torture took place. They would strap the victim to the bed so they could not move, and then the session began. When Phnom Penh was conquered by Vietnamese troops in 1979, here's where they found the 14 last victims of S-21. They were already dead when they were found, but the bodies were still fresh, suggesting that this place was operating until the very end. While inmates were being interrogated and or tortured, they had to follow these rules. 1. You must answer accordingly to my questions. Don't turn them away. 2. Don't try to hide the facts by making pretexts as this and that. You are strictly prohibited to contest me. 3. Don't be a fool, for you are a chap who dared to thwart the revolution. 4. You must immediately answer my questions without wasting time to reflect. 5. Don't tell me either about your immoralities or the essence of the revolution. 6. While getting lashes or electrification, you must not cry at all. 7. Do nothing, sit still and wait for my orders. If there is no order, keep quiet. When I ask you to do something, you must do it right away without protesting. 8. Don't make pretexts about Kampuchea Chrome in order to hide your jaw of traitor. 9. If you don't follow all the rules, you shall get many lashes of electric wire. 10. If you disobey any point of my regulations, you shall get either 10 lashes or 5 shocks of electric discharge. To summarize, if you were here, you were guilty and you would be tortured until you told them what you wanted to hear. That you were a spy for CIA, KGB and the Vietnamese, and give up the name of everyone you knew as co-conspirators. Only when they were happy with your answer, you would finally be allowed to die. Torture and dehumanization took place constantly. Here, for example, is an old exercise tool from when it was a school, which the Khmer Rouge used as a torture device. Prisoners would be hung upside down from ropes and forced into these pots, which would be filled with human excrement. We then entered the second building. Here prisoners were stored, chained to the floor, and here we learn more about the people running this place. Up in the left corner we have Pol Pot himself, the leader of the Red Khmers, and in the bottom left corner we have Dash, the man in charge of this prison. He personally oversaw day-to-day operation, signed the confessions of the prisoners, and also their death warrants. Here we were also faced with the faces of former prison guards. What is really striking here is that most of these guards are in their early teens. But it does make sense since the Red Khmers very much relied on child soldiers. Why? Well, children without education are easier to control. Here we were also shown pictures from the countryside during the time. As I said earlier, the Red Khmers forced everyone to leave the cities and head to the countryside to grow food. But city people had no idea on how to grow food, and on top of that, there was not enough food to begin with. This in practice led to the whole country looking like a concentration camp. With hard physical labor from dawn to dusk, all you got to eat was a small bowl of watery rice soup a day, and if you complained, you would get shot. We were then faced with the pictures and stories of a few of the people who were imprisoned here. And then a lot more. And more. And more. Not only Cambodians were held here. In this picture we see people from India and New Zealand. One of the New Zealanders reported that his contact in CIA was Colonel Sanders, aka the guy who invented Kentucky Fried Chicken. An obvious joke for a Westerner, but not for the Red Khmer. But it is crazy to be here. There are so many faces it just turns into a grey mass of people. It is impossible to see them all. And at the same time I know that relatives of people who went missing in Democratic Kampuchea have spent hours looking at all these pictures over and over again in hopes of finding someone they lost. Halfway through. What do you say so far?
It's heavy. It's just really crazy to listen to this. I mean, it's so weird, you know, I'm German, so I've heard a lot of horrible stories about Germany, but this is also, I think it's even next level.
It's more brutal. The German one was so industrial and so, but this is just pure brutality.
Yeah.
On a different level.
It really is. It's also seeing all those pictures and
Yeah.
But the audio guide is really good.
Yeah.
It's has so many people speaking on it that actually have been part of it.
Yeah.
I really like how they made it, first in their native language, kind of. Well, also the French woman was speaking and the English guy. And then, the first, you hear a little sentence of that and then it switches over into English or the language your guide is.
Yeah.
So, it makes it feel even more real.
Yeah.
What do you say?
It's heavy.
Is it anything new for you? You've read so many books.
To me, the story is just the same story that I've been reading in those books over and over.
Yeah.
But it hits harder when you're at the site where it happened.
See the fences and everything.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
We eventually arrived at a room full of torture devices and paintings of different torture methods the Khmer Rouge used. All these paintings were painted by one of the few survivors of S-21 and depicts things he saw himself. So, we are now out of the museum. That was quite an experience.
Yeah. Really, we had to get away from there because as soon as you exit, people are screaming for tuk-tuks, and it's just a bit, I don't know, I feel like it's not
Appropriate?
No, it's actually not.
No.
Like if you've just heard everything about this, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why we're standing so far away from it.
Yeah. That was an heavy experience.
Yeah,
It was a good and interesting exhibition.
it really was.
But while it tells you what happened there, it doesn't really give you the backstory
No,
properly.
it really
Actually,
doesn't. Like I'm really lucky to have you with me because otherwise I had a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I really did. And I don't know how other people do it. Do they, like, if they read up before going there? Or?
I don't know. I think some people also start with the killing fields. I don't know if we will get more context there to what was going on.
Yeah.
For me, it was okay because I've been reading a lot of books about this actually lately. But yeah, still very well worth a visit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
like-
come to Cambodia and not go here. It's like, it's your job as a tourist if you come to other countries, I feel like.
Yeah,
It's your
absolutely.
job.
Absolutely.
Especially if a country has such a dark history. Like,
Yeah,
it's important to understand this.
absolutely.
It's like how you said, like, there's almost no old people in Cambodia, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You're starting to see a little bit now.
Yeah, yeah,
But then again, this was 50 years ago this happened at this point.
yeah. That is true.
So I can't imagine how it was just 20 years ago to
Yeah.
visit here. It must have been weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. Oh well.
Let's move on to the next.
Let's move on to our next dark spot. Onwards to Choung Ek, the killing caves. No, killing fields. Okay. As we were driving through Phnom Penh from S-21 to the killing fields, just as the up to 20,000 people who did the same journey between 1975 and 1979, I could not help but wonder what they were thinking, blindfolded on the back of a truck. Were they aware that this would be their last journey? Did they know that they were gonna die? Yes. Choung Ek Genocidal Center. So here we are. Let's entry and explore another dark place in history. So here is where they were taken after they were done interrogating them at the prison we just visited. They would take them here to execute them. Here I got the answer to my question. Before they left the prison, they were told that they were gonna be released. But once they arrived here, that hope would be crushed. Here they were met by revolutionary music blasting on full volume from bad speakers. Some people were lucky and were executed the same evening. Others were kept tied to each other in a shed, hearing the screams of people being murdered for sometimes days before it was finally their turn. What strikes me when I'm here, and also when I was in Dachau, is how peaceful these places are now.
Yeah, that's true.
And the greenery and animals, and it's
Yeah.
and
Such a
then
contrast.
to the
Things that have happened here.
the unimaginable terror.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bizarre contrast.
Yeah. I think often, like, we do that on purpose, you know. People actually, like, decide to, turn this into kind of like a peaceful place.
Yeah.
Plant trees and, give it some life back.
Yeah. And here we got a mass grave. Even now, more than 40 years later, bones and teeth are still resurfacing here. And these small holes in the ground are also mass graves. Here thousands of corpses have been found. The horrors of what happened here are just unimaginable, but the audio guide definitely did a good job of painting the picture for us. Most people that were killed here were beaten to death by a variety of different tools. Some lucky few were shot, but in general they wanted to save bullets. But perhaps the most brutal method was this tree. It is now filled with colorful trinkets, but when Phnom Penh was captured in 1979, it was covered in blood and brain substance. Here the executioners would smash the heads of babies against the trunk in front of their mothers, before killing the mother afterwards. The absolute evil is hard to fathom, and I honestly struggle to believe that this actually happened because it's so disgusting. It's so hard to think that humans can do this to other humans. After walking around the mass graves for some time, we now moved on to the temple located in the middle of the area. So we're leaving the killing fields, and this day of exploring the very dark history of Cambodia is over. It was an emotional day. It was heavy.
I would say this was even worse, like the killing fields now than the prison.
Yeah.
I don't really know why. Maybe if we would have done it the other way around, it would have been, then the prison would have been harder. I don't know. Well, that's just heavy.
Yeah, it's insane. It's actually insane what humans can do to other humans.
Yeah. It is. Shocks me every time.
Shocks me every time as well.
And like the worst thing is it could happen anytime again. Like we always think we're so smart and this would never happen again, but it can happen anytime.
It happened again. This was not the last time in history this happened.
Oh, absolutely not. And that's just so shocking to me.
Yeah.
I need some comfort food now.
Yeah. I think so. I think we deserve that.
Some happy people around us.
Some happy people around us. Yeah. Yes. So yeah. I hope you found this video interesting and informative. If you did, I don't know, the normal things with thumbs ups and this time I'm gonna end the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something actually.
Spread the word.
Spread the word.
Don't let anyone kill history just because people think we're sick of talking about stuff like this. So many people scream. Stop spreading guilt, but it's not about guilt. It's about being aware that humans are capable of doing stuff like this.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, I think those are good ending words. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you another time.